I don't remember. Yeah, no, we do 2 sales a year. Arts Fest downtown in the early summer, late spring, and Polish Hill Arts Fest. We get reminded every once in a while that like the smaller sales at like places that aren't meant to be sales don't make us any money. And so the commissions are great because all we have to do is make stuff. We get to make it. We don't have to deal with anyone but the client, and that's something I really like. I don't have to move and lug around a ton of stuff and just get to make. So yeah, today just doing a test, making another dino. I haven't done that in a while. Making some test tiles, some rubber ducky test tiles, and I'll do a solo cup. And yeah, so I'm gonna just mix it up and get some slip out and pour some duckies and a solo cup. I had mixed it earlier, so it's not as needed to.
So can you tell me like what's slip?
Slip is clay that has some special properties in it to make it so you don't need to have as much water to make it liquid. Yeah, so I strained the slip just so that it's like nice and smooth and it doesn't leave any sort of like little bumps on the inside. It's a trick we've picked up over the years. When it's like super fresh, new slip, it's fine, but like if it's been sitting in here and little bits of clay from this bop go in there, it doesn't always necessarily slake down all the way. These are all just test tiles. For us to like know glazes, we need test tiles, and we found it sort of funny to make them little rubber duckies because it's also sort of nice because we can sell them later because it's sort of like getting paid to do tests. And the slip's a little thicker than normal, but that just means you don't have to cast it as long. I've been enjoying not having to sit here as long waiting for it. The Dinosaur is probably going to be really thick. Oh well. So this is a dino. Going to pour out the excess. And this will sit for like an hour. Ooh, let's make sure that doesn't upside down. And so I'm gonna set a timer for 12 minutes and just go sort of chill. When you get into the groove of it, there's not as much downtime, but because this is just sort of a chill Saturday, just gotta relax after a lot of prep.
So you don't have anything else particularly you have to do after this?
No, not at the moment. That's one of the great things about slip casting. With some of the more intense things like putting together dinosaurs like the Triceratops, you have to start putting on all the horns and the extra mouthpiece and everything, and that can add up time. And if you it's just sort of a rhythm. It's like cooking, it's baking, but with clay. And so you gotta do all the prep work, which prep means, you know, making the slip, making the molds, getting your space ready. And then once you set it, you can just sort of forget it for a little while. So like mixing all of the ingredients and having it just go work for you. Once you demold, then there's a lot of process of cleaning up and putting stuff together, sponging down. Gotta clean these now. So that way, that's just the reservoir. So that way when it keeps, you know, like pulling out all the moisture, it doesn't end up being empty at the top. So now I gotta start cutting stuff off.
Oh, you have to cut all the stuff off of its teeth?
Yep. That's why when people are like, oh, well, it's just a mold, it's like, it's a lot of work.
That sucks.
I find it quite cathartic.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I haven't done one of these in forever. I'm surprised I remember how to do it.
Sometimes. Well, one of them is on.
Oh, it's open.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Geese, geese. Kind of like you're a dentist.
Yeah.
You're a dinosaur dentist.
Yeah, I've got dental tools. Yeah, you want to go from top to bottom because the clay is it gets like softer and softer as you keep working it because of the deflocculation, that like soap in it. So it sort of becomes like a jelly, and then if you move it around, it goes back to being liquid.
Until it like fully dries.
Yeah.
So that's not porcelain.
This is porcelain.
It is porcelain.
Yeah.
So there's a slip of porcelain.
Yeah. So porcelain, just like the main ingredient is kaolin, which is just a specific type of material that, and so we use, our porcelain has 3 different types of kaolin in it, and it's a recipe that I've had since I was in undergrad, I don't remember. And then I'll go in afterwards and like get all these seam lines out and recarve all the scales and everything, so that way it looks seamless. Sometimes I lose a tooth. Just say, you know, they got into a fight or something. It's really hard to reattach it if it gets too dry. I can like reattach it right now and like stick something onto it, but once it gets to a certain point, it's near impossible, and you'd really hate for someone to be drinking and all of a sudden the tooth falls off because it didn't fully get connected again. I tend to do it silent and in the dark. I don't mean to. I just, my ADHD really just puts me into a zone sometimes. But yeah, when it comes to making molds, you really gotta take into a lot of consideration, like, well, work, how much extra work is it going to be to clean it up if you do it, if you make the mold part over here instead of over here. If you can use the least amount of mold, like try and make as little mold pieces as possible, but you know, don't sacrifice that. Like if you have too few mold pieces, you might end up messing up more just because you're ripping everything apart, trying to pull it apart. So, but these seam lines we discovered in a previous project, if you don't like clean them up really well, they'll come back in post-firing because the porcelain we use has a memory. And so and that memory is basically all the clay particles instead of being like flat. So particles are basically like little crackers of different sizes. And with this seam line, instead of being flat and flush against the wall, it actually goes up and looks like a volcano. And so you can get rid of it, but the particles will find that memory and then be raised after the firing. And on something like this, you don't notice as much because it's so like all the shapes and textures and everything. But on something that's really round, like say a cup, it'll really be present and can ruin the piece. It's still a little soft. Really have to have like gentle hands and not push any pressure points.
Oh yeah, because it'll just collapse, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah. When you do a lot of these, all of a sudden your hands start hurting. And I've asked my like dental hygienist like what she does, and she's just like, you know, after every patient she has to like do stretches and make sure, see how it's like moving. Certain seam lines I like keeping, like on the eyebrows or this sort of ridge here. I find that it looks pretty good, so I'll leave that. I guess I'm probably done with this for now because it's just a little too fragile and needs to be set up. I believe it's on video, but that's how I am able to do stuff like this. Is you like keep messing with it and it just ends up being. And so that's how you make a deformed crushed solo cup. The commission I can't show you at the moment is probably the most complicated mold setup I've ever made. There's like mold pieces within mold pieces, and need to get it so precisely like accurate that a lid fits into the inside. It's pretty wild. And we were able to get one off, and he was ecstatic. So now we're just trying to figure out a way to not have to fire it 3 times. He wants to have his logo on the bottom, but over glaze. And that means we have to do a 3rd firing. So not something that just adds a lot of cost and time for us. So we're experimenting. I'm just casting the bottom, and then we're gonna do like 4 to 5 different versions of the bottom for him and send them out to him, see what he thinks. And once he gives us the go-ahead, we'll start producing them for him. Yeah, the astronaut was also pretty intense. That's 5 molds for that. Here's the dinosaur. And so I've gotten quicker with coloring with different techniques. It's probably a little dusty because we're in a clay studio. But yeah, just a very, very light glaze on top of colored porcelain to make it look just slightly shiny. And if you want to see a cool collaboration, this one has rubies in it. I worked with
Wait, where are the rubies?
and the eyes
Okay,
and the teeth. So that's my collaboration with King Reld. And it's got like a pearlescent luster. I put their logo on the. It's funny, this project I started with King Reld in 2020-ish, but I didn't finish it till this year. So, and now King Reld doesn't do grills anymore, so this is sort of behind the times. But I need to give that to them so they can try and sell. My love of Crocs with socks, to be more specific. This was another commission. He does skulls, and this is Pikachu skull made out of porcelain. He's local. Yeah, naked dude cups. This guy's local too. Need to figure out how to make it so it doesn't warp, because the clay moves. It like it can get altered. Oh, here's a solo cup. Yeah.
In the Carnegie?
Yeah, this was for a bar. Andrew Carnegie holding a book, and then on the back is like some bridges. And this what was it? I forget what bar it was, but then they were at Muddy Waters for a while. I don't know if they still do them. They haven't asked for more.
What about the astronaut?
Oh, the astronaut. This was just Garrick and I thought it would be fun. This one's not colored like some of the other ones, but yeah, each leg is a different mold piece, each arm is a different mold, so I have to attach it, and then, yeah.
And the idea is you drink out of it.
Yeah, you drink out of it. This holds 10 ounces. This was a mess up. I accidentally never completely attached them and made it look good, so I just dripped slip all over and colored it like it was melting.
I love that one.
It's heavy. This thing's like 2 pounds. Let's see. And I have probably the newest Dinosaur. I need to like still make a mold of the arms.
Wow!
So Velociraptor.
Oh my gosh.
And so.
That's amazing.
And then this one's actually meant to go on the wall. It can go up on the wall like this.
Oh, I love that.
So this is 3 molds. Each mouth piece is its own, and I have to reattach that. And then I have arms I have arms that I need to finish making the molds for. Everything we do, or I make, I always try and find a place to hide a 412. So, yeah. No, I just like doing. We don't actually make any money off of this. It just pays for itself, and then we'll work ourselves to the bone and then get burnt out and not do anything for like 2-3 months, and hopefully we have good reserves type stuff. Right now, it's always a process of give and take. It comes in waves, but like I would say I've gotten better about not overdoing it. I used to pull out every mold and just do them all, and I would be here till 9-10 o'clock at night every day thinking I had to do that. But right now we're in a recession and art sales are pretty bad. This year our downtown first Arts Fest sales were off by like 30% the last time we did it. And then a lot of people I talked to who did handmade recently, and other people who've done sales are 30 to 50% is like the norm for being down this year. So the commissions have been truly the lifeblood for us, and it allows us to survive. We only do things that are like advertised as art first, or we have a community of people who want to come out and buy stuff or replace a broken Solo cup or a broken Garrick mug. And so this commissions this year probably are 70 to 80% of our money.
And how are people finding you for the commissions?
We have a website that we haven't updated in 5
Yeah, I
years.
just looked at it. That's where you're getting all your commissions?
The SEO on it, like if you type in custom plaster slip cast mold, we come up at number 2. And so we get 2 to 3 inquiries a week, and we just pick whichever ones we like. I mean, for me, I would like, my goal is to get like 2 to 3 new pieces of my own a year, cast and molded. This year was bad. I don't think I did anything. Last year though, I got Duckies, a new Dinosaur, and the Crocs with Socks solos. This year, I don't know what happened. I think this year felt like a whirlwind. I don't know where it went. It just like, it came and disappeared. Like it still feels like yesterday that we were downtown doing Arts Fest, but that was in June. So I always knew that I wanted to be able to call myself an artist, and I'm not gonna call myself an artist unless I'm actually making stuff. This year I feel like more of just I'm a maker. I'm just really I know how to make anything that I can set my mind out to, but I don't feel as artistic this year, but all of the things that I've done have needed creative problem-solving skills in order to create, so I don't know, maybe it's still art. I think also it's, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not having fun, I'm not gonna fucking do it. It's just, I'm not going to do it if it's not fun. And for me, creating and thinking up different ideas is fun. I like video games, I like movies, I like hanging out with my friends, but I also just can't help but make things. And I'm fortunate enough to basically do art non-stop between Vault and here. I go to Vault for my day job, and then I come here for 2 to 3 hours every day afterwards and avoid the traffic, and then I go home, feed the kitty. Yeah, I like perfected the glaze on it for a few, and then I fucked up this last batch of them. I have more styrofoams that I need to make molds of. Yeah, I mean, this is just where I make the clay stuff. My house is where I make all the plaster molds. And so,
I didn't know that.
yeah, so the house is my second studio, so there's always the possibility of working on art for over 12 hours a day.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe give us a wave.
Thanks for coming over.